So I'm now joined by a legend of the women's game, the former England international, Rachel Yankee. Uh, Rachel, how are you feeling ahead of this evening?
I'm actually quite confident, which I don't know if that worries me because I was really nervous against Norway, and then we all know what happened there with that scoreline. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the team playing. Hopefully, they can withstand the pressure that I'm sure Spain will put on them, and continue with their record-breaking achievements and the way that they're playing and galvanizing fans and businesses and everything that they're doing to really change the perception of women's football. They've got sponsors and supporters on side. In fact, of companies like Greene King renaming a brand of beer their icebreaker pale ale into the record breaker. Things like that don't happen to women's football, but they are starting to happen now. So it's a real positive.
Yeah, if there was any doubt that this tournament was not capturing the imagination, that's soon been quelled, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been brilliant, and hopefully England can get through to the semis and to the final. And all it will do is it will help, capture the imagination of more people. Obviously, inspire more young boys and girls to want to take up football and to have role models that can be women.
Now, this Spanish team England's facing
Mm.
isn't isn't an insignificant team in itself. It's packed full of Champions League winners. How do you, when you're going up against something so big and the stage is getting bigger, it feels, what are you told in terms of how to handle the occasion? How will the team handle the occasion?
It's going to be tough because they haven't played a team that will play like Spain. Spain like to have lots of possession of the football. They've got fantastic movement, and they're clever players. And England haven't played against a team like that, so it's really is going to be tough. But I think Spain are missing two of their biggest players, and definitely one of their goal scorers in Hermoso, Jenny Hermoso, and that's a real, in a bad way, but that's a real positive for England. Because
There's
Spain,
nothing bad about that. There's nothing bad
yeah,
about being grateful that one of the star players is missing from the other team.
I feel very harsh, but I think really England, defensively it will be tough, but I think they can withstand the pressure that Spain will put them under. But on the offense, attacking wise, I really think that the confidence that the England team has got in scoring the amount of goals, and probably Spain's weakest part of their game, in my opinion, is their defence. I really think that we can score goals. So I'm going for an England win. I'm putting my neck on the line there.
Okay, score.
2-0, I'm thinking. 2-0. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so it will be hard fought then. It's not going to be like it was against Northern Ireland or Norway.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'd love it if it was, the performances that they put on against Northern Ireland and Norway. I think the Norway game, nobody expected that, but the way that the team played, whether it was the players that started the game or the players that came on, there was a ruthlessness to them. There was, they were relentless in the way that they kept pushing on the pressure. And then in the Northern Ireland game, home nation rivalry is always hard to play against. They were very patient in the beginning of that and knew that they could, keep the ball and wear Northern Ireland out and then have their opportunities in the second half. So I think there's an intelligence to this team. So hopefully all those things put together will bode really well for tonight.
Indeed. Now, you mentioned about key players missing from the Spanish side, but not a player, but the manager, Serena Wiegman, still has to wait to see if she's actually going to be on the touchline. Now, look, tell me, as a former England international, how important, you've done all the training, you've got the strategy in place. How important is it that the manager is on the touchline?
It is, but I believe that this team can, they can step up. I don't think it will be as important, as people may think. I think at halftime, with all the technology we've got these days, I think at halftime, if she's not there, they could do video links, and I'm sure they would. That she can be there speaking to her players at halftime and getting her messages across. Obviously, the assistant and other staff members that they will need to step up into different roles. And sometimes as a player, it's nice to hear a different voice, and it's that change can actually have a positive effect. So I don't think that'll be a real game changer. But obviously in normal circumstances, you'd obviously want your manager there. But I don't think it will really harm the players too much.
You've spoken about what it's done in terms of businesses and the overall kind of excitement amongst the public and on TV and in adverts and things. What is it actually going to do for the women's game if England continues to progress?
Yeah, well, this is where, in previous tournaments, we've always known as players, if you can get to the latter stages of the tournaments or even go and win it, how much that will change people's perceptions. Nowadays, that the games are being televised more, there's a bigger market. And now we need to make sure that everybody that is coming on board and watching the games actually now backs our domestic games. And that's what's so positive for me when I look at some of these big businesses that are getting involved. Well, actually, it's going to continue into, the domestic game. Greene King are showing all the games here live now for this Euros, but they're also showing WSL games. So you won't just lose a fan base, which has previously happened in big tournaments. And that's where we need to make sure that we're valuing our sportswomen in the same way that we're valuing our sportsmen, and giving them that platform so that people can go and watch and go and experience the games, actually bums on seats in stadiums. I think we still need to be better at that. But obviously on TV and, the access to go and watch games needs to be there. It needs to be at a high level, and that's starting to happen, and it has to continue for this to be a success.
Okay, talking of bums on seats, without getting too personal, which seat will your bum be on, and which snacks will you be resorting to as you watch the game?
Well, I'm going down to a box park in Wembley to watch the game, and I do love a pack of crisps. So I'll be watching. Do you know what? I'm not too fussy. I'm not the biggest on salt and vinegar, but anything else.
I don't like salt and vinegar.
Do you know? Yeah,
too hard.
Yeah, there's something about them, but anything else, I don't mind. So
So if anyone sees you,
a little crisp, yeah,
anyone sees you, don't have a pack of crisps, feel free to offer.
Exactly.
Great. Oh, it's great to talk to you, Rachel. Enjoy the game. Fingers crossed. Let's hope we do it, eh?
Thank you. Fingers crossed. I will definitely keep them crossed all day.
Thanks.
Thank you.